Picture a sketchbook, right? It is just filled to the brim with these incredible visionary clothing designs.
Like really avant-garde stuff.
Yeah, exactly. The colors are vibrant, the silhouettes are totally unique. And looking at it, you just know these pieces belong on a runway, or I mean, at least being worn by the coolest people in your city.
Right. You can totally see it.
But then, right next to that sketchbook, I want you to picture this massive, incredibly dense spreadsheet.
Oh, yeah. The dreaded spreadsheet.
Filled with, manufacturing costs, profit margins, fabric yields, shipping logistics, all of that. And usually these two things, the wild creative vision and the cold, hard business reality, they feel like they are totally at war with each other.
They really do. It's like two different languages.
Exactly. But if you want to launch an independent clothing line that actually survives its first year, they have to become best friends.
Yeah, they have to work together.
So today, we are decoding a step-by-step blueprint for building a fashion brand from the ground up, moving straight from the sources provided right into the actual mechanisms of the industry. Because I know you, as a lifelong learner, you're always looking for that perfect blend of creativity and practical strategy.
And that tension, between the art and the execution is exactly what we're exploring today. Because you can have the most groundbreaking designs in the world, but if the unit economics don't work, well, you don't have a fashion brand.
Right.
You basically just have a very expensive hobby.
A very expensive, very stressful hobby. So we aren't just talking about how to print a couple of cool shirts for your friends in a garage. We are looking at the mechanics of building a sustainable, profitable business.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because going from a pure creative vision in your head to physical garments flying off a digital rack, I mean, that requires a massive shift in mindset. And it starts long before you ever even source a single yard of fabric.
It really does. The source material makes it incredibly clear that before a single piece of fabric is even cut, a brand has to know exactly who it is.
And who it's speaking to, right?
Exactly. You can't just draw cool logos, slap it on a blank hoodie, and expect the sales to just roll in. I mean, you have to define your target audience and your core brand values right out of the gate.
Like deciding if you're accessible luxury or something else.
Yeah, like, are you positioning yourself as accessible luxury? Or are you, an eco-friendly utilitarian brand? Is this high-performance sportswear? Or maybe a minimalist capsule wardrobe aesthetic?
You have to pick a lane.
You have to plant your flag somewhere, and then you have to validate that position with rigorous market research.
Now, wait, hold on. Shouldn't the art and creativity come first? Doesn't obsessing over competitor pricing and, market research kind of kill the artistic vibe?
I get why you'd think that.
Because I've seen brands that pander so much to customer surveys and trend reports that their clothes end up looking like, I don't know, completely generic mall wear. If I am a designer, I want to express my soul, How do you use research without losing your unique edge?
Well, what's fascinating here is that the research actually focuses the creativity. It doesn't stifle it at all.
Really?
Yeah. Think of market research not as a paint-by-numbers guide telling you what to design, but as a map of where the audience actually lives. By using customer surveys, digging into fashion forums, and really analyzing the gaps in competitor pricing, you aren't compromising your vision.
You're just figuring out how to sell it.
You are finding the specific vessel for it. Like if you want to make avant-garde distressed denim, market research tells you if your specific audience is willing to pay $300 for it, or if they max out at, say, $150.
Oh, I see. So it's less about asking people what they want you to design and more about understanding their reality.
Exactly. Constraints actually breed better design. When you know exactly what your specific audience is hungry for and what they are actively frustrated by in other brands, you can channel all that wild artistic energy into a product that has actual market demand.
That makes a lot of sense.
The sources highlight using resources like Apparelizer to gather inspiration, track micro-trends, and really get practical fashion insights. You use these tools to understand the landscape so you can figure out exactly how your art disrupts it.
Which I guess is the primary way you reduce your financial risk.
Precisely.
Okay, so you are building a bridge between your art and their actual lives. You aren't just designing in a vacuum. But even with a perfect understanding of your audience, a massive challenge remains. Once you know what you want to say with your brand, how do you physically make this stuff without completely bankrupting your startup?
Yeah, this is where the strategy shifts from the concept to the rack. And the most critical piece of advice from the sources here is extreme restraint.
Restraint? In fashion. I mean, usually you think of a designer launching a massive, sprawling collection with like 20 different looks.
Which is exactly what bankrupts most new designers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the core strategy recommended here is to launch a highly focused collection first.
Like, how small are we talking?
We are talking about picking a very specific lane. Maybe it's just a perfectly engineered t-shirt, a heavyweight hoodie, a specific cut of denim, or, a small activewear set.
Just a few items.
Right. The mistake new independent labels make is trying to launch with dozens of varying products right out of the gate.
It's like opening a new eatery. It's so much better to have a focused menu of 5 amazing dishes than a 50-page diner menu where everything is just, well, mediocre.
That is the perfect analogy.
Yeah.
And if we extend that diner analogy into the mechanics of fashion manufacturing, it all comes down to fabric minimums and economies of scale.
Right, because of the raw materials.
Exactly. If your menu only has those 5 amazing dishes, or in our case, if you only make hoodies, you can buy 1,000 yards of premium, heavyweight fleece and secure a massive bulk discount from your supplier.
But if you have the 50-page menu...
Meaning you are making hoodies, tailored pants, silk shirts, and canvas bags. You are forcing yourself to buy very small batches of 5 different fabrics. You pay premium prices for those tiny fabric orders. You hit minimum order quantity roadblocks with factories, and your profit margins completely evaporate before you've even started sewing.
So a tight collection isn't just about brand clarity. It's literally a financial survival tactic.
100%.
Which brings us to who is actually doing the sewing, because the sources lay out 2 main paths here, right? Local manufacturing versus overseas manufacturing.
Yeah.
And there are huge complex trade-offs for both.
Absolutely. The sources note that local manufacturing gives you unparalleled quality control.
Right, because you can literally drive down to the factory, you can look the production manager in the eye, and the communication cycle is incredibly fast.
Yeah, if a seam is puckering, you catch it that same afternoon.
But the unit cost is usually much higher, whereas overseas manufacturing gives you significantly lower costs per unit, access to highly specialized machinery that might not even exist in your city, and a much larger production capacity when you are ready to scale.
But that overseas route comes with longer lead times,
Yeah.
complex shipping logistics, and the very real risk of miscommunication across time zones.
Right.
Regardless of which route you choose, though, the absolute most critical step, and the sources underline this heavily, is the sampling process. You must request and meticulously inspect physical product samples before you ever commit to a large production run.
And we aren't just talking about making sure it looks pretty on a hanger.
Oh, not at all. You have to pressure test these samples. You have to check the tension on the stitching. You have to wash the garment 5 times to verify the sizing consistency and check for shrinkage.
Wow, 5 times.
At least. You have to feel the drape and durability of the fabrics. This iterative process of tweaking the sample is where your brand's actual quality is forged.
Because if that initial focus starter menu is flawed, the customer is never coming back. You really only get one chance to make a first impression.
Precisely. High-quality fabrics and genuine craftsmanship in that initial small collection are what establish your brand's credibility from day one. And the physical brand story goes far beyond just the garment itself.
Like the presentation.
Yeah, it includes the packaging, the product labels, the woven tags inside the collar, and the hang tags.
The unboxing experience.
Yes, the unboxing. When a customer receives that first package, the weight of the box, the feel of the cardstock on the hang tag, the typography on the label, that physical touchpoint communicates your brand's premium value just as much as the shirt inside.
It signals to the buyer that they made the right choice.
Exactly. It validates the purchase.
Okay, so you have a tight, beautifully crafted collection. You survived the fabric minimums. You found a great manufacturer, whether local or overseas. Your hang tags look incredibly sleek and premium. But even the most perfectly stitched, locally sourced denim is completely invisible if it's just, sitting in a warehouse.
Right.
The physical product is only half the battle. The other half is creating a digital mirror of that quality so the algorithm actually shows it to people.
Which is where the digital ecosystem comes into play. Building a highly optimized e-commerce storefront.
And the sources push past the basics here. They emphasize SEO optimization and mobile-friendly design, but not in a generic way. Because in fashion, there's this massive tension between high-end visual branding and website performance.
Oh, definitely.
Like, you want these massive, gorgeous, high-resolution photos to show off the texture of your fabrics. But if those images take 5 seconds to load on a mobile phone...
Your SEO ranking plummets and the customer bounces. It is a really delicate balancing act. High-quality product photography is absolutely non-negotiable. I mean, it is the only way a customer can essentially feel the fabric through a screen. But that storefront has to operate like a well-oiled machine.
Right.
And once the storefront is optimized, you have to actively drive traffic to it.